The Jedi Temple was silent, a hollowed-out monument to a peace that had already died. The air, once thrumming with the serene energy of 1,000 Jedi, was now heavy with ozone, smoke, and a profound, screaming wrongness in the Force. Anakin Skywalker, no longer a Jedi, not yet a Sith, moved through the halls like a ghost haunted by his own actions. His breathing was a ragged thing, each gasp echoing the screams that still reverberated in his mind. The glow of his lightsaber was a blasphemous star in this sacred space, illuminating the faces of the fallen, the friends he had cut down in the name of a promised salvation. He found a group of younglings hiding in the council chamber itself, a final, futile testament to their faith in the Order's heart. They looked up at him, their faces pale with terror, but a flicker of recognition and hope in their eyes. It's Master Skywalker, the hero with no fear. He's come to save us. The hope in their eyes was a sharper pain than any lightsaber wound. The dark side, a torrent of easy justification, roared within him. It is too late. You have come too far to turn back. This is for Padme, for the future. Their sacrifice is necessary. His grip tightened on the lightsaber. The corrupted kyber crystal at its heart pulsed with a sickly, malevolent yellow. One of the children took a small step forward. Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do? The words were a mirror, reflecting back the nightmare of his mother's death, his own powerlessness, his endless, desperate fight against the too many. He was not bringing order. He was becoming the very monster that created the chaos he sought to escape. In that horrific, crystalline moment of self-awareness, the foundations of his soul cracked. He saw it all, not as a Sith's grand design, but as a pathetic, bloody tragedy of his own making. The fear, the arrogance, the manipulation, the lie. A wave of pure, unadulterated anguish. For himself, for them, for the galaxy, washed over him. It was not the hot anger of the dark side, nor the calm detachment of the light. It was something else entirely, a grief so absolute it became a void. And in that void, his lightsaber changed. The blade didn't extinguish. It didn't flash blue. It darkened. It was as if the light itself was being sucked into the crystal, consumed by the sheer depth of his remorse, and finally to the color of a starless night. It became black, but it was not inert. It hummed with a low, profound thrum, a sound that felt ancient and silent. It did not cast a glow. It seemed to absorb the light around it, a blade of living shadow. The only light it emitted was a thin, stark white outline, a ghostly corona that made the absolute darkness within seem even deeper. The younglings stared, their fear momentarily eclipsed by awe and confusion. Anakin stared at the weapon in his hand, the instrument of his damnation, now transformed into a symbol of his horrific awakening. The dark side's fever dream shattered. The voice of Sidious in his mind was silenced, not by light, but by a stillness more profound than darkness. He deactivated the blade. The sudden silence was deafening. He looked at the children, his face a mask of tear-streaked ash and utter devastation. "Go," he said, his voice hollow, stripped of everything but raw truth. "Hide. The deepest archives, the lower furnace vents. Go now. Tell no one you saw me." They fled, their small footsteps echoing away into the temple's depths. Anakin Skywalker turned and walked out of the Jedi Temple. He did not run. He walked, a man in a trance, the black lightsaber hilt cold in his hand. His mission had not changed. He still went to Mustafar. He still neutralized the separatist leadership. But he did not do it with rage. He did it with a terrifying, silent efficiency. His movements were precise, economical. He didn't torture Newt Gunray with words. He simply disabled the droids, forced the Neimoidians into a secure room, and locked them in. leaving them for the Republic to find. He was not a vengeful angel. He was a ghost, executing a necessary, ugly task. When Obi-Wan Kenobi arrived, emerging from the Naboo cruiser, he expected to find a monster. He expected to see the yellow-eyed Sith Lord who had slaughtered the temple. He found Anakin standing alone on the landing platform, staring out at the rivers of lava. He was still, calm. The darkness around him was palpable, but it was not the aggressive heat of the dark side. It was a cold gravity, a profound and sorrowful weight. "Anakin," Obi-Wan said, his lightsaber held ready but not ignited. Anakin turned. His eyes were not yellow. They were his own blue eyes, but they were ancient, filled with a knowledge and a pain Obi-Wan could not fathom. "Obi-Wan," Anakin acknowledged. His voice was quiet, resonant with a new, unsettling depth. "The temple," Obi-Wan began, his voice hardening. "The younglings." "I know what I have done," Anakin interrupted, not with defensiveness but with a simple, devastating finality. "The Jedi Order is gone because of me. The Republic will fall because of me. I have opened the door for the Sith, and I must be the one to close it." He ignited his lightsaber. Obi-Wan gasped, bringing his own blue blade up in a defensive guard, expecting the crimson slash of a Sith. But the blade that emerged was black, a blade of nothingness outlined in white. It hummed with a sound that felt like the silence at the end of the world. "What is this?" Obi-Wan whispered, his Jedi senses reeling. The blade felt neutral. It was not light. It was not dark. It was a wound in the Force itself. "The Chancellor is the Sith Lord," Anakin stated. "He has played us all. My anger, my fear. It was the key to his victory, but the lock is broken now." Obi-Wan was utterly disarmed. The fight, the righteous anger he had carried, evaporated in the face of this terrifyingly calm, transformed man. This was not the fallen brother he had come to duel. This was something new. Their confrontation was not a duel of fury and grief. It was a tense, philosophical standoff on the volcanic plains. Obi-Wan pleaded for Anakin to return, to face the Council's justice. Anakin refused. "The Council's justice is a paradox," Anakin said, his black blade still held passively. "They would have me answer for my crimes with the very power I used to commit them. I walk a different path now. I am beyond their light, and I have rejected the Sith's darkness. I am what remains in the absence of both." The decision was made for them. A flight of inquisitors, dispatched by a furious Sidious to tie up the loose end of the separatists, and his wayward apprentice, descended upon the platform. The fight that followed was unlike any lightsaber combat Obi-Wan had ever witnessed. Anakin moved with a chilling efficiency. The black lightsaber did not deflect blaster bolts. It seemed to absorb them, swallowing the red energy into its void-like blade. When he clashed with the Inquisitors' spinning blades, their crimson light didn't spark against his. It was extinguished on contact, as if their weapons were mere illusions against his absolute truth. He fought not to kill, but to dismantle. He disarmed them, disabled their weapons, and left them unconscious. He was not a Jedi protecting life. He was a force of nature imposing a terrible, silent balance. Watching him, Obi-Wan understood. Anakin had not been redeemed to the light. He had been alchemized. His profound shame and his unprecedented power had fused into something new, a living embodiment of penance. The black lightsaber was not a weapon of the Sith or the Jedi. It was the blade of a grey knight, a force of balance born from the absolute nadir of a chosen one's fall.